review a payer population health use case using DvSum's CATI solution. CATI is a natural language interface that allows you to query your data using AI capabilities. In healthcare, especially among payers today, a common reason for the lag in value-based care payments innovation is a lack of agility operationally to address care gaps, coding, and also documentation gaps that can affect reimbursement. The use of CATI, Chat with Your Data, by care managers and operational execs can quickly identify areas for improvement using voice AI capabilities for self-service analytics. So here we will look at an example in a Medicare Advantage population for a payer where costs have trended up, but the average risk adjustment factors for patients are decreasing. And we want to do a test to find what are the root causes so that we can remediate these problems very quickly. As you can see, within the corporate intranet, the user can get access to the solution through a browser interface. It's very ubiquitous across the organization and the access to the DvSum solution. And here we welcome the user and we want to ask the context within which they want to chat with their data. So we choose population health, and we see a response that I can help you answer questions to identify members and cohorts based on multiple criteria. And this will use access from 3 years of data with information on total spend, average cost per episode, health condition classification code, and ICD-10, along with RAF scores. And the data will come from a Snowflake member database in this instance. So naturally, the first question that the user would have to do this analysis are, who are my Medicare Advantage members with more than one chronic care diagnosis, because they are typically the highest in terms of cost. Descending by total spend year to date. And using that voice query, we can see a return of this cohort, beginning with the highest total spend from a case standpoint, and also conditions that are listed, condition 1 and condition 2, along with the member ID, the plan type, and also the plan year. This information is returned visually in a grouping that allows the user to see the full information for this entire cohort, but also to see a visual distribution of these comorbidities, which is very powerful. Also, all patients or members that have a specific condition can be aggregated and can be grouped. If, for an example, if we only wanted to look at asthma patients within that cohort, we can see those with a primary health condition of asthma, along with a secondary HCC code associated with it. Another graphical visualization are bar charts and the ability to represent graphs to reflect this data at a summary level as well. So that can also be embedded within our query returns. So you can see here a continuation of this table. So naturally, once the user has this complete information on their chronic care members with more than one diagnosis by spend, they're going to want to look within that data to further refine. And so at that point, the chat interface can accept within this cohort what are the top 20% of the current Medicare Advantage members that fall within this population health study. So you can see again a quick return of the cases here that are ranked in descending order by total spend, representing the top 20% of cases. Again, continuing. But we also want to look within that cohort of the top 20% from a spend standpoint to isolate the members that have an increased cost per episode and a decreased RAF, or risk adjustment factor, along with their attributed PCP. So we can actually ask for that data directly, and this is the return that we see. All of this can be done within a matter of a couple of queries. You can get to this level using natural language. And then finally, within that cohort of increasing cost and decreasing risk adjustment, we want to identify the patients that have missing health condition classification codes or missing ICD-10 codes, because this would indicate cases where the primary care physician are not actively managing these patients. Therefore, that would increase negatively the year-over-year RAF score, which would certainly negatively increase plan reimbursement, and that would be reflected in the trend that we saw from the beginning, and it would also help to support our suspicion that there are physicians that are responsible for care gaps and for coding and documentation inefficiencies that we should do an outreach to immediately. So at this point, the operational manager or the care manager has the information at the desktop level embedded in their workflow that would allow them to route this information to network management for direct remediation with a targeted group of physicians. And this is extremely powerful because without CADI, it would require the organization to submit a request for manual SQL queries and return standard reports that could take an order of days or even a week to return. And in this case, we have information at our fingertips in the moment, and we can use that information to drive actionable insights and results for the organization. Thank you.